This rich man shot and killed his cheating wife, yet managed to pin the murder on the police chief. Even after confessing to his crime, the court declared him innocent and set him free. The man had discovered his wife's affair, but he didn't blow up right away. He quietly slipped into their bedroom and saw the disheveled bed. He knew exactly what had happened. Still, his face remained expressionless. When his wife came home after her rendezvous, Nick actually embraced her. He deliberately asked where she'd been all day, but she fed him lies. Without hesitation, Nick pulled out his gun and aimed it at his wife. One gunshot later, she collapsed on the floor. The gunshot brought the groundskeeper running from outside, but Nick didn't panic. He deliberately fired several rounds through the window, scaring the groundskeeper away. Then he collected the shell casings from the floor, wiped them clean of fingerprints, and carefully staged the entire crime scene. He threw his shirt into the fireplace and scrubbed himself clean with hot water. He remained completely composed, just waiting for the police to arrive. Soon enough, police surrounded the house. The lead officer was none other than his wife's lover. Completely unaware he was walking straight into a trap. He had become the most crucial piece of Nick's plan. The police chief spotted Nick's gun through a crack in the door and suggested they both put down their weapons before coming inside to talk. This played right into Nick's hands. He set his pistol aside first, and the chief honored the agreement, entering and laying down his gun as well. When the chief noticed the photos hanging on the wall, he finally realized who he was dealing with. Nick calmly admitted to shooting his wife and gestured toward the body with his eyes. The chief followed the blood trail and rushed over to check on her, discovering she was still breathing. But Nick had already silently positioned himself behind the chief with his gun. The chief spun around, knocked the weapon from Nick's hands, and wrestled him to the ground. Nick was quickly loaded into a police car, yet he remained eerily calm, even wearing a strange smile. In court, Nick didn't defend himself against the lawyer's accusations or witness testimony. He just sat there sketching. The judge was baffled by his behavior. But when the police chief took the stand as a witness, Nick suddenly interrupted him, directly accusing the chief of having an affair with his wife. The revelation stunned everyone in the courtroom. The exposed chief lunged at Nick in rage, which completely undermined all the previous testimony. Police discovered that Nick's gun showed no signs of being fired, yet shell casings were found at the scene. Despite searching the entire house, they couldn't locate the weapon Nick had supposedly used. All evidence suggested Nick might not be the killer. Desperate, the police chief approached the prosecutor, fabricating evidence he claimed would convict Nick. But the ethical lawyer refused to cooperate with him. When the final trial began, due to lack of solid evidence, Nick was acquitted on the spot. The police chief was powerless to stop it. Suddenly, a gunshot rang out in the courtroom. Everyone turned to see the chief had shot himself, while Nick wore a victorious expression. Will Nick truly escape justice forever? Follow me to see how this thrilling story unfolds.